you can kind of basically go through this particular task list here,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, kind of work through the task, and let me know what if you have any questions or anything like
Okay.
that. You're actually already at. Oh, you already connected to the local database?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so you already know how to do that. So
Right.
That's pretty quick.
Right.
All right.
But I do have issues with that in that it doesn't, there's no security there. It's just sort of a blind login.
Right.
That.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know. I think because you flew through it too quickly without going through this, we can go back and
Okay.
interview you. Let's go ahead and do 3. Read number 3 real quick.
After you
And,
successfully log in, connect to the local, you need to make sure that all of the peripheral finger, iris, and camera are all working properly. We don't expect you to know how to operate the devices, just locate and attempt to turn them on. Okay, so the digital camera. Okay, let's see. I would think that they would, okay, there's a camera icon, so I'll click on that. Okay, and it's recording the camera. Okay. And we'll take a test photo to make sure it's working. Okay. Let's see if our zoom settings work. I don't see anything occurring. I would expect the zoom, as I do the zoom, I would expect it to adjust, and I'm not seeing that happen. So if I say OK, what happens? Okay, it goes away. So I'm going to press it again. I'm going to select that camera one more time. Once again, the zoom stayed. It persisted through the session, but show live preview during capture, zoom in, nothing happens. And when I click to take the picture, take a test photo, I would expect this to actually zoom so I could see without having to take a test photo. I would expect this to zoom without having to take a test photo, because that to me is a little awkward. Because when I say take test photo with the zoom that I have, I mean, we have my eyebrow. And that's about it. And then we have the zoom. Yeah, so I would definitely, this needs to be,
That's another good discovery. Okay.
that doesn't
That
work.
zoom function doesn't work at all.
Right.
From that level.
Yes,
That
and
screen.
again, to me, it just, if it's going to be there, it should interact with that screen. Fingerprint reader.
Okay. Let's go to the next task, which is making sure that the fingerprint reader.
Okay. Cross match RFI 300. We'll say OK. Okay, select scanner revision. This really doesn't tell me anything. I'm just going to click OK, but I have no idea what that. Let's fire it up again, click OK. I'm supposed to put a fingerprint there. I don't. This tells me absolutely nothing. What am I supposed to do with this? Select scanner revision, so I say OK.
What's your confidence that the device is working correctly?
It's not. I have no confidence whatsoever that it's working correctly. That screen tells me absolutely nothing.
Okay. Let's move on to the iris reader.
Okay, so we should. is inactive. Okay, so let's connect. Okay, it says we're connected. And I guess we'll do a test capture.
You can use me as a subject.
Sure.
I believe F2. There's no instruction anywhere, but I think F2 is the capturing. So you can
Okay.
click test capture and use me.
Okay, so
There we go. Press and then F2 to begin. Okay, F2 on here.
okay, F2. Okay, let's take a look in here.
Actually, I think you were supposed to hold it to my eyes.
Yeah.
And press F2. I
Yes.
think you press F2 too early.
Mm-hmm.
Then we actually have to wait. We have to wait. It's already taking a picture because you press F2 earlier on. We'll have to wait for a second.
Okay.
Let's do this. Press F. Is that it? Okay, let's try it again. We're gonna hit this, and then
Okay.
put my eye in the right place.
Okay.
Hold on. Keep it a little closer. Okay, now hit F2 whenever you think.
Okay, that failed.
Did it fail?
Yeah.
Okay, for the sake of this actually only worked once for me. We're going to go ahead and just cancel out. I don't think it ever worked. We'll go back to this process. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this okay. Okay.
So, so we'll disconnect here and say okay.
Okay. So this is the process that was shown to us by the FSC as part of their methodology.
Mm-hmm.
Share your thoughts on the process of validating the equipment.
The camera, again, I think that was fine. The zoom doesn't work. The fingerprint didn't tell me anything. Lackluster at best. And the iris scanning, better than the fingerprinting, but still somewhat clunky as far as I'm concerned. But the fingerprinting was definitely, as far as I'm concerned, off the mark. There was no indication that it was validated. There was no, there was just nothing to it. There was nothing there to say that it is working or it isn't working.
Good. Let's move on to task 2.
Okay.
Task 2 is the enrollment process. The enrollment process, put yourself in a situation that you are now a checkpoint.
Mm-hmm.
At checkpoint. The system is set up, and you are basically processing a person through the process, okay?
Okay.
So the very, think of me as a test subject as I come in. Look at the user interface that in front of you and do a simple enrollment
Okay.
for me.
So I'm going to click on enroll because that's what I would expect. Okay, step 1, identifying information, pre-enrollment, fingerprints, iris scanning, name, badge number, photo for face recognition. So I would assume here now that I can acquire your fingerprints.
Read this section first before you move forward.
Okay. Fingerprint, take photos, iris scan, enter some basic data. Proceed to enroll yourself in the above order. Fingerprint process. Find the process and print all fingers except for the right thumb, which is a missing digit.
So I come to you, and I'm missing a thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So go through the process. of the enrolling me into the system.
Okay.
You can put that here and
All right. Let's see. I guess there's nothing really here that tells me to use. So I'm going to hit acquire, which, okay, so if you would be kind enough to put your fingers.
No, I don't have a problem.
This, okay, so transaction, subject date, transaction.
Make sure you read A again real quick.
Fingerprint process. Find the process and print all fingers except for right thumb, which is a missing digit. Okay.
I can't touch you now.
I am pretty much clueless as to what this screen is trying to tell me. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this screen. There's nothing here to clue me in as to a prompt as to what finger perhaps, or where do I.
You may not leave the room until you find this. Just kidding. No. Remember, you can either find help or you can raise your hand for support.
Okay, so we have fingerprints type 4, so we're missing a thumb, so we have right index. I'm going to click on this with the magnifying glass and see if it does anything. Probably not, because I would expect that. I would expect this to be filled in and not someplace where I would actually. So I'll go back to transaction. The question is now, where? Okay, so we have right thumb, index, middle, ring. Okay, so we'll try right index. We'll see what that does. Let's click on that.
Right index.
Right. Okay. And
Right middle.
if we could do right middle. And right ring.
Right ring.
And if we could do right.
Right middle.
And now to the left,
Left
please.
thumb.
Left thumb. Yeah, we don't have thumb. Or leave that out. And again,
Left index.
left index, please. And
Left middle.
left middle.
Left ring.
What I don't understand is what other checkers. I don't know what else to can.
Left middle. Full face photo.
Okay. I'm gonna do setup because I'm assuming it's gonna give me a preview of what I'm about to snap. Okay, this is. Again, I'm not too happy with this. I would expect there to be a real-time preview. Okay, so we're going to say okay with that. Okay, that makes no sense to me, but we'll say this. I would expect the setup, when I hit setup, I would expect it to be something like a print preview, and I have a print button, and so if I set it up and I get your picture and I hit snap, I would expect that to bypass this. Just like when I go on, and I say print preview, and in that print preview, when I go to print a document, I have a print button, and I can print from there. That's the kind of behavior I would expect from this right here.
Okay.
And that's not what I got. So we're gonna be okay with this, and we'll finish.
Left profile.
Okay, if you would give me your left profile, please. And I will snap without a preview. Okay. And we will finish
Left
there.
45-degree profile.
Left 45-degree profile, please. we'll snap that again. Okay, so now I guess it's done prompting me. I was a little thrown aback by the 45-degree profile. I figured we were done with the whole process. So,
Right 45-degree profile.
More surprises?
yes. But I'm sure if I hit finish, it would just allow me to finish the process. But we'll go through and we'll snap.
Right profile.
Let's hope this never gets trouble at the airport.
It's all over the place, yeah.
And I'm going to hit finish. I'm expecting when I hit it's going to be finished. Okay, select the iris device. So we're going to say OK. And I'll next. Okay, if I could get you to look in here. Okay, I get nothing here. Wait, I'm waiting for my prompt.
I see.
So, okay, do I hit test capture? What do I do here now? I'm waiting on the device now. It's not the software per se, but now I'm waiting on the iris capture device.
Yeah, I kind of have to help you because we're testing there's just stuff that you're not going to know
Okay.
in here, but the device is working properly. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Well. So I guess what I need to do is active. I guess I'll do test capture.
Okay.
If I could get you to look into it. Okay, let's try again. Failed. Still failing. Okay, I don't know if it's me or the device, but for some reason it's failing. Let's try and get another one. And there's a message that comes across here that is way too fast for me to capture the whole thing. Failed fuse to it says images.
We're not really testing the machine as much as the interface.
Right. And it's obvious I'm not able to get your iris scanned, so.
Well, just
Okay.
and hold it as steady as possible. Did it work? Okay. Let me see if I can do it.
So I'll have trouble going through the airport.
let's just assuming that it comes out of we don't need it actually going forward.
What's this?
Let's do it again.
Okay.
Is there any way we can move that thing around? I guess we can't. I don't want to hug it. It's taking forever to.
Yeah, we just have to stretch it out, I guess. Okay.
It's not even recording right now. Okay. Let's see. We'll go ahead and take a look up here, okay?
Okay, so I don't know, I guess I'll hit capture instead of setup.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
Good God. All right, we're gonna skip the other one.
We don't have as many hours in the day.
All right.
Okay, so now,
Now it's actually.
we're kind of stuck here, so let's finish. So our suspect only has one eye. Okay. Okay, this T2 name here, date of birth, okay, so I'm assuming it's asking for information regarding the suspect. So now, okay, so I guess it's supposed to go here. We'll say, Billy Bob. Person type, cartoon. Person type, what is a person type? Okay. Enemy, prisoner of war. Using printed. Detainee. Birthplace. No. What if we don't know the birth date? I'm assuming the yellow indicates a required field. Question is if we don't know the birth date, so I'm going to say it's a male. Height and what? Feet? Okay, so I'm going to say 6. That doesn't tell us anything. Weight, 100 meters. infield T2 HDT. That absolutely makes no sense to me whatsoever. That's just as cryptic as a Microsoft error. So now for height, I guess I'm going to have to speculate that they wanted in inches or something along those lines, because there's no way for me to indicate whether it's feet or inches or centimeters. It just says height. So I guess I put in a number, so we'll say 80 for inches. Click OK. Date of birth. Data length too short. Length is 2. Must be between 3-3 infield T2. Height 2.27.1.1 IDC 0. Okay, so when we go back, I have to have a birth date, even if I don't know the birth date. I'm completely unknown as to what to put in for height. I'll try 200. And I'm going to make up a birth date just to get around this. So I have to say 1960, 01, 01. Data field regular expression matched for height. Okay. If he's 5 feet tall, he's 60 inches. Data length too short. Must be between 3-3. Okay, so if I say, okay, I need help. I am stuck on height. What am I supposed to put in there for their height?
I think the first number is feet, and then the second is inches, but 60 would be correct.
Sounds like it requires
But it won't allow you to put in
601. I am concerned about the whole idea of the height. That is very confusing. It doesn't tell you whether we're talking centimeters, whether we're talking inches, feet. It doesn't give me any clues to what I'm supposed to put in. And simply guessing at 601, I'm supposed to assume that he's either 601 inches, 601 centimeters, or 6 feet 01 inches. And there's no indication whatsoever as to what I'm supposed to get there. So now, after going through all this, I'm going to sit next. Well, let me see. Once you have successfully enrolled yourself into the system, proceed to find the option or tool to identify yourself on the system. So I'll hit next to hopefully successfully identify the person into the system. Identification results. Database. One matches. So what I'm assuming is it already says that this person is in here already. Next. Step 3. Enter contact information. Now here we have height in inches is 73. That is inconsistent. So we will say that he is making Dutch.
you in the right data set? Are you working with this information that you just know the person is?
Yes. The only, like I said, the only thing that is something that I'm, and it goes back to the height, because now we're saying height in inches, and it's telling me 73 inches, which is, it's 601. Yeah, that sounds about right without having to do the math. So I would assume it's 73 inches. That isn't consistent across.
It is a conversion.
Yeah, I would prefer consistency. Okay, it says enemy prisoner, war combatant, detainee, and that is what I put in. Those are the images. Fingerprints. We're missing the iris. And we're going to finish. Missing DOD status and person status. Okay. DOD status. Okay, there should be something here to at least let me know that this is a mandatory field. Non-US person, non-DOD person. Okay, so it says person successfully enrolled. Now what I'm concerned about is it looked as though it found you already in the database as being a person. It's out still and grant an alias. I would expect something different to happen. What, I don't know. But I would, because I haven't had time to really fully think it out, but I would expect that if you're already found in the system, that there would be another path to go down.
Okay. Or another record that shows the alias.
Yeah.
Okay. And did it show that?
I didn't see anything up to that.
Well, basically, what you just did was just the enrollment process,
Mm-hmm.
and that is actually the simplest path of enrollment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there are different ways of enrollment and identification. All right, so once you close that window out, okay, so you successfully enrolled me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 3 weeks later, okay, you're at a different checkpoint, and I'm going to go through the checkpoint. And I'm going to tell you, I'm already in the system. I've done this once already. So, we're now going through the identification process.
Okay.
So, on the user interface, have that particular tool. I want you to go find it and see if you can ID me.
Okay.
I want you to read A on the next page.
Okay. Choose the quick enrollment process, not the enroll or rapid enrollment. Okay, so select the ID by fingerprint option only. Follow the enrollment process. Okay, so we're going through. Go through here. Once you have successfully enrolled yourself into the system, proceed to find the option or tool to identify yourself on the system. Okay, so I'm either going to identify or choose the quick enrollment process, which I would say is quick mode. So we do quick identify. Quick mode behavior, and fingerprint iris. Okay. Select the ID by fingerprint option. Okay. Right index finger, please.
Right click.
One of the things that disturbed me there was that there was a fleeting screen that just sort of popped up, and it looked as though it did make an identification, but it didn't last. It certainly didn't persist through the session. Yes.
Right index.
So, yeah.
Right index.
Right. It, what caught me is that it did identify, and it did make a match, but it didn't persist through the session. It was a quick screen that flashed and then went away.
I think there's a bug right there.
Yeah,
So it's,
that there is problematic. So no, there's very little confidence in being able to.
I've actually seen that, and it went through on another laptop,
Mhm.
so it could be totally. We have to report it. That's inconsistent. Anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so now the quick identification did not work. Let's find a different type of ways to get me identified in the system.
Okay, so my next thought would be that, first of all, this, cancel that. I'm going to say ID. And I guess we'll try to acquire a fingerprint. Can we get your right thumb?
Right
Yes.
thumb.
We don't have a right thumb.
Right index.
Right index finger, please.
Right nipple. Right ring. Right.
Want to see something?
Left. Left index.
Working actually really good right now.
Middle.
It was really.
Left ring.
Lift finger or clean glass. I would.
Left middle.
But that's how it exists on another laptop. It's a bug that goes from one to another machine. Not a consistent bug.
Now, I would think that here that I would not, if I'm trying to enroll, if I'm trying to identify you, I really think that one fingerprint would be sufficient. Perhaps I, you know,
I think that's what
yeah. Right, okay.
I can just say it didn't work on this machine.
But see, the quick mode doesn't, again, quick enroll or quick identify. I'm either enrolling you or am I IDing you? And that, well, there's a semantic problem, but
Explain to me, what do you think of the enroll or the identification process?
I don't think it's an identification process as much as it is an enrollment process. I think that if you're going to ID somebody, it should be a little bit simpler, because if they're already in the system, several fingerprints are just saying, I want to ID. Whether or not it's the same code or the same process, I think that there has to be a clear delineation in the naming conventions as to whether or not we're enrolling or identifying somebody, because they're two separate acts. And if it's a matter of just changing the title bar on a window, then by all means do so. I did find the whole idea of identifying using the enrollment screens was a little cumbersome.
Now, the next task is actually kind of very time consuming. I know that you're trying to run out.
And that's okay.
We'll skip it at this
No,
point.
no, I can.
Okay. Well,
do
there's
it.
actually there's actually there's four type of enrollment. There's a pre-enrollment, enrollment, quick
Mhm.
enrollment, and then rapid enrollment. want you to go ahead and close the screen now and study, find each one of these mode.
Okay.
Kind of go through it and explain to me the best you can the differences between those three enrollment type.
Okay. So I'm going to say for one enrollment ID, I would go to the pencil icon where it says enroll, and that one I would select, and I'm going to select that. It's going to ask me to do all the things we've done again to acquire fingerprints, right and left iris, fill out other required data. Do you want me to go through each step with you here?
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have
Okay.
to. If we just went through that one. You don't have to.
And I'm going to just go through all the, so it's going to, and then we'll just,
So that step there looked familiar because we
yes.
went through it.
Now I would say then the quick mode, I'm going to go to where it says quick mode, and assuming that quick mode, so I'm going to say quick enroll. Okay, I'm going through the same steps that I went through, so there's nothing quick about this because it's the same process as the enrollment, so I don't see how that makes it quick.
Okay.
So then we're going to have a rapid enrollment ID. I am at a loss looking at this as to what rapid enrollment is, so I'm going to hit ID, and that does nothing because that is just actually searching for things. So rapid enrollment, we have quick mode, we have enroll, file, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to have to go here for a rapid enrollment. Okay, so we say irises, fingerprints, indexes, all. I don't know. Okay, so we have irises and then we have all checked. I'm really baffled by that default behavior. Okay, but I'm going to say okay, and it brings me back to the similar screen, only I don't have a next. I just have a submit ID. So I mean that is more rapid than the quick mode and the enroll, which there was no difference between quick mode and enroll. So
Why don't we go through and do a rapid enrollment then?
okay.
Do-
So now we have to go through the biometrics. We have to say rapid enrollment. We'll say
Since the iris doesn't work too well, let's do the fingerprint.
aha. Okay, so fingerprints is for all. Okay, personal data. Okay, so we'll just go here, and I will acquire. Let's see if I can't click on a box as to which fingerprint it would be. So we're going to say acquire, and we'll go through the. Okay. We'll go to right
Right
index.
index.
Get your right index finger, please.
Right middle. Right ring. Right middle. Left thumb.
That's good. No, good.
Okay.
Left index.
Submit.
What do you think is going on there?
I have no idea. I would assume that it was still trying to identify a subject, but we seem to get back to this original screen, and I'm kind of.
I have to give you, it would be an unfair test if I don't tell you the concept behind this. With rapid enrollment, the idea of it is that you can have multiple people being queued at instead of doing one at a time, you can do multiple people. The idea is that because when you're enrolling somebody, the system actually fingerprint somebody and then go and check against the database. So it takes about a minute or two.
Mm-hmm.
So the rapid enrollment idea is to get that person ID'd and have them sit down, and then the next person go through.
Okay.
So that's why you're seeing this screen again. The idea is the next guy's coming up now.
Okay.
And you're doing that.
Okay, yeah, because it just totally, it comes back, and I'm like,
Right.
well, why is this
But
here?
you have to know the background enable for it. So I guess, that's the concept. And so I want you to see the interface of what that is.
Okay.
So that's really the differences between enrollment, quick enroll, and rapid enroll.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the three different modes?
I see no difference between enroll and quick mode. They look to me to be the exact same. The rapid enrollment, it would be better if it was provided more information as to what the process was, as to what was going on. Other than that, I mean,
Was it easy to find?
the rapid enrollment, no, because I had to have some knowledge of where it might be in the menu, because the toolbar, it wasn't on the toolbar that I can find. Whereas the enroll and the quick mode are, so I would assume, or at least hope that, if enroll and quick mode are there, then rapid would also be there, but it's not. So I have to have some idea as to where to go look for it.
What do you think of the idea of having a queue system?
I think a queue system is beneficial in certain circumstances. Not necessarily maybe the default behavior, but if you do have to enroll a number of people and move them through quickly, I can see where it would be beneficial to just queue them up and run through. The only problem with that is that if you are doing something and you're trying to quickly rapid enroll people, get people in, here's where I think in the field, is it better to be thorough than it is to be quick? And so for the sake of expediently pushing people through the system, is there anything that could possibly be missed in the enrollment of somebody? I mean, I don't know if that really means anything as far as this study is concerned, but that's one of the things that I look at when I see this rapid enrollment idea.
On a scale 1 to 5, one being the easiest to use, how would you rate the overall usability of the system?
4.
Of everything that we've done, from identification to enrollment and things like that, what strikes you as the easiest or best feature of the system?
You guys all been using it today, because I have fun with this going to do. Finally, I'm the more productive amount today than I am.
Okay, so you're out of pocket then.
Yeah, I'm learning something.
Okay, all right, Barry, we'll try it. Okay, bye. Catch you another time.
I just did.
Didn't want to be a guinea pig?
That's right. Guinea pig test.
I was hoping to catch you. It's scheduling's been like that.
Scheduling's hard around here because
Yeah.
people have a flexible schedule, so it's kind of like,
You're telling me. It's killing me. Okay, what strikes you the easiest, the best feature?
oh wow. I'd actually have to find something good about this.
There's gotta be something.
I would have to say probably the verbal prompts for fingerprinting. It sort of takes it takes the thought process out of it.
You like that quick wizard approach?
Yeah.
the
Well,
option
yeah.
to-
Mm-hmm.
And what about the worst then? Just pick your top one or two.
One of the worst features, I think that it is a little cumbersome enrolling somebody. I wasn't too thrilled with the iris scanning. That may or may not be a function of this software itself and more so the device, but I wasn't too thrilled with that. And again, the whole idea of having a quick mode and an enroll, I don't see any difference between the two, so why have them? It's, you're lying to me when you say quick if it's the same thing as enroll.
And how would you change the application?
Aside from rewriting it in C# and getting away from Visual Basic 6,
Sure. Yeah.
One of the things I would do is, for me, would be to try and simplify this interface. How that would be done, I don't know. I don't know what, I mean, we have, I guess this is the ID queue. I like the idea of wizards. I think they work and they help you get through a process. I'm just not in love with the look and feel of this UI as it is right now. Again, with the rapid enrollment being on the biometrics but not here with all the other, I mean, so it seems, and so, I mean, camera, what, that really doesn't tell me anything. It's camera. Fingerprint, iris, I mean, these, I don't see any real usefulness in having them here on this toolbar. Because it doesn't tell, it just doesn't tell me anything.
At any time, do you know where you are in the process?
Yeah. Yeah, during the identification at least, I know at some point that I'm stepping through it. As I go through the wizard, it's, when it's sitting there searching and not coming back like in the rapid enrollment, that was, again, something that, you know, wasn't very user-friendly.
Should like progress bar or something?
Something,
like
yeah.
a visual
Something that tells me. And in the identification, when it was finding Homer Simpson in here, it would flash and then go away. And I would expect that ID would be persistent.
Now, the enrollment is a long process. Were you updated at any time of where you are during that process?
No.
Would that be useful?
Only in the searching to see if there is other IDs for the same person, simply because it is a wizard, so I should know that as I'm stepping